In the future, people don't measure life in years. They measure it in seconds glowing on their wrist. Time is currency. Time is power. The rich live forever. The poor beg, borrow, and steal just to see another sunrise. But one man, Justin, will stumble into a gift he never asked for. More than a century of stolen years. A gift that makes him a target, a fugitive, and a symbol of rebellion in a city built on borrowed time. This is not just a story about survival. It's a story about a war for every heartbeat. The city never sleeps, not because people want to stay awake, but because they can't afford to waste a single second. On every wrist, a glowing green clock, counting down, years, months, hours until it hits zero. Then you drop, dead. The rich live forever. The poor, they run on borrowed minutes. Justin was just another kid from the slums, 23 years old, 2 days left on his clock. He worked double shifts in the factory, trading sweat for scraps of time. That night, walking home, he noticed a man sitting alone on a bench. A wealthy man, impeccable suit, gold watch, his clock still glowing, more than a century left. The man looked at Justin, smiled. "Don't waste it." Before Justin could react, the stranger grabbed his wrist. The transfer was instant. Justin's clock surged. 10 years, 20, 50, 112 years blinking in green fire. Justin staggered back. "What the hell did you just do?" The stranger whispered. "They'll think you killed me." And then the man collapsed, dead. Sirens screamed in the distance. Time police. They always came fast when a rich man's clock hit zero. Justin's heart pounded. He ran. Through alleys. Past neon lights. Past desperate faces staring at the glow on his wrist. One thought haunted him. He didn't just inherit time. He inherited a death sentence. And the time police were already hunting him. Justin's lungs burned as he sprinted through the narrow streets. Every siren behind him grew louder. Red drones hovered overhead, scanning wrists, hunting for stolen years. He pulled his sleeve down, hiding the glow. But it was too late. He heard the amplified voice from above. Subject identified. Suspect in possession of unauthorized time. Surrender immediately. Justin ducked into an abandoned warehouse. His hands shook. On his wrist, over a century, pulsing bright. He had never seen that much time outside of a broadcast. His mind spun. Why would a stranger give it to him? Why choose him? The steel door slammed open. Heavy boots echoed. Time police. Black armor. Guns that could drain you dry in seconds. Freeze! Justin raised his hands slowly. His voice cracked. "I didn't kill him. He gave it to me." One of the officers smirked. "They all say that." The rifles hummed, ready to fire. Justin's clock blazed in the dark, exposing him like a beacon. And then chaos. A blast shook the room. Smoke filled the air. A figure moved through the haze, fast, precise. 2 officers dropped, their clocks draining in flashes of red. A woman's voice cut through the smoke. "If you want to live, come with me." Justin hesitated, coughing, barely seeing her outline. "Now!" she shouted. With no other choice, Justin ran toward her. As they slipped out into the night, Justin finally saw her face. Sharp eyes, a fire in them he'd never seen before. She whispered, "Name's Samantha, and you just stepped into a war you can't escape." The streets were alive with sirens. Samantha dragged Justin through back alleys, moving like she'd done this 100 times. They finally stopped inside a shuttered bar. Dust, broken bottles, shadows. Samantha locked the door behind them. Justin leaned against the wall, still gasping. His wrist glowed like a spotlight 112 years. He whispered, "Why did you save me?" She lit a cigarette, her eyes never leaving his wrist. "Because you're worth more than anyone in this city right now. And because I hate the bastards chasing you." Justin frowned. "You know who that man was? The one who gave me this?" Samantha exhaled smoke. "Henry Caro, a banker of time. Rich, untouchable. Until he decided to give it all away. To you." Now they'll tear the city apart looking for you. Justin's chest tightened. They think I killed him. They don't care what really happened, she snapped. In their eyes, you're a thief, and thieves don't live long. Outside, a drone buzzed past the window. Its red light cut through the cracked glass. Justin whispered, "So what now?" Samantha smirked. "Now, we stop running. We take from the banks that hoard centuries and give it to people like us." Justin shook his head. "You're insane." Her smile widened. "Maybe, but with that clock on your wrist, you're already part of the fight." The bar shook as an explosion echoed 2 blocks away. Sirens grew closer. Samantha grabbed his arm. "Decision time, Justin. Run alone and die, or stay with me and change everything." Justin stared at her, his pulse hammering. And in that moment, the door began to creak open. The door groaned as it swung wider. Justin's chest froze. A silhouette stepped in. Not police. Another civilian, trembling, clothes torn, eyes hollow. His wrist showed less than 5 minutes. He gasped, staring at Justin's glow. "Please, just an hour. I don't want to die tonight." Justin's stomach twisted. He'd seen this before. Desperate people begging for seconds. But never like this. Not with a century on his wrist. Samantha raised her hand. "Don't. He's bait. Police send them in to flush you out." The man collapsed to his knees. "No, I swear. I just need time." His clock blinked down. 4 minutes, 3. Justin stepped forward. "I can give him some." Samantha grabbed his arm. Her voice was sharp, almost angry. "Every second you give away puts a target on your back. Do you understand? That glow is survival." Justin stared at the man. His breaths came ragged now. 2 minutes left. The sirens outside wailed louder. The trap was closing in. Justin whispered, "If I do nothing, he dies. If I help, I risk everything." The man's clock hit 60 seconds. Tears streaked his face. "Please, don't let me die." Justin's hand hovered over the man's wrist. Samantha's eyes narrowed. "Choose Justin. Right now." The door rattled again. Heavy boots. The time police were here. Justin's fingers brushed the man's skin, and the entire bar lit up with the red glow of scanners flooding through the windows. Red lights cut through the bar like knives. The man on the floor screamed as his clock blinked down to 30 seconds. Time police stormed in, rifles raised. "Hands where we can see them." Samantha moved first. She kicked over a table, gun already in her hand. Blue flashes lit up the room as she fired. 2 officers dropped, their clocks draining into darkness. Justin froze, torn between survival and mercy. The man beside him now had 20 seconds. His eyes begged. Justin gritted his teeth and pressed his wrist to the man's. A flash of green surged. 1 hour transferred. The man gasped, his clock leaping forward. Samantha cursed. "Idiot!" But the man bolted. Alive again, disappearing through the back door. Now the officers focused on Justin. His wrist still burned bright. A prize. Fortune. One lunged forward. "Take him alive." Samantha grabbed Justin's collar and yanked him down just as bullets tore through the bar. Glass shattered. Wood splintered. She shouted over the chaos. "You're gonna get us both killed if you keep playing saint." Justin crawled behind the counter. "I couldn't just let him die." Her eyes blazed with fury. "And that's why they'll use you. That's why they'll break you. Unless you learn fast." More boots thundered outside. Reinforcements. Samantha kicked open a trapdoor behind the counter. Underground tunnels. "Move." Justin hesitated, staring at the lifeless bodies of the officers. His first real look at what Samantha's war cost. She hissed, "If you want to live another day, follow me." He dropped into the darkness of the tunnel. As the hatch slammed shut above them, Justin whispered to himself, "What the hell am I becoming?" The ceiling cracked, concrete dust filling the air. Screams echoed through the abandoned station. Justin's heart pounded. "They're gonna bury us alive." Samantha stayed calm, gun in hand, scanning the shadows. "They won't risk killing you. Not with that much time glowing on your wrist. You're too valuable. Another blast shook the tunnel. Sparks rained from broken cables. People scrambled, clutching their ticking clocks, some with minutes left. A child cried out, "Mom! My time!" Her wrist blinked red. Less than a minute. Justin's chest tightened. He wanted to help, but Samantha grabbed his arm. "Don't. Not now." He pulled free. "If we're just fighting to survive, what's the point?" He touched the girl's wrist. A green flash. 10 minutes transferred. The mother sobbed with relief. Samantha snarled, "You're painting a target on your back, fool." Boots thundered above. The station's far entrance burst open. Time police poured in, armored rifles glowing. "Hands up! Everyone on the ground!" Panic spread. Civilians dropped, begging, screaming. Justin froze. Guns trained on him, his glowing wrist pulsing like a beacon in the dark. The lead officer stepped forward, his helmet reflecting the green light. "Justin Hale, you're under arrest for the murder of Henry Caro." Justin's voice cracked. "I didn't kill him." The officer aimed his weapon. "Doesn't matter. You're coming with us, dead or alive." Samantha raised her gun, whispering to Justin, "Trust me." Before he could answer, she opened fire. Chaos erupted. Bullets, screams, the glow of draining clocks. Justin dove behind a pillar as the world exploded in red and green light. And then, through the smoke, he saw her. Samantha, standing fearless, but with 3 rifles locked on her chest. She whispered one last thing. "Run." Time slowed. 3 rifles trained on Samantha's chest. Justin's pulse roared in his ears. She didn't flinch, didn't move, just stared at him. "Run, Justin." He froze, couldn't breathe, couldn't abandon her. The lead officer barked, "Take her alive if possible. Kill him if he resists." Something in Justin snapped. He wasn't going to run. Not again. He lunged at a fallen officer, ripping the rifle from his hands. The weapon hummed with stolen time, deadly and alive. Justin shouted, "Get away from her!" and fired. A blast of blue light struck one of the officers. His clock blinked to 0. He collapsed instantly. The other 2 spun, unloading fire. Samantha dove behind cover, returning shots. Sparks flew. The walls screamed with ricochets. Justin's hands trembled, but he kept shooting. Another officer fell. The 3rd retreated, shouting into his comms, "Target is armed. Requesting reinforcements." Samantha pulled Justin down beside her, breathing hard. "You idiot. You were supposed to run." His voice cracked. "I'm not leaving you. Not now." For a moment, she looked at him, like she hadn't expected that answer. Then she smirked, blood on her lip. "Maybe you're not completely useless after all." But the reprieve didn't last. More boots echoed from the tunnels. Reinforcements. Dozens this time. Samantha hissed, "We can't fight them all. We need an exit." Justin scanned the station. His eyes locked on an old service train rusting on the tracks. He pointed. "That, can it move?" She followed his gaze, then smiled. "Not on its own." She slapped a device from her pack onto the side of the train. It blinked green. But with a little stolen time, anything runs. The sound of charging rifles closed in. Samantha grabbed Justin's wrist, forcing his glow into the device. The train groaned, lights flickering to life after decades. She shouted, "All aboard, hero!" As the doors slid open, the time police flooded the platform. And Justin knew they had seconds to decide if the train would save them or kill them. The rusted train screeched awake, sparks raining from its cables. Its doors yawned open like the jaws of a dying beast. Samantha shoved Justin inside. "Move!" The crowd of desperate people surged toward the train too, clawing, shoving, screaming for escape. Justin tried to hold them back. "There's no room." Samantha fired a warning shot into the ceiling. The crowd froze, terrified. "If you stay, you die. If you follow, you slow us down. Decide." Boots pounded on the platform. The time police were closing in, rifles raised. Justin grabbed Samantha's arm. We can't just leave them. Her eyes cut like knives. You want to die a martyr, fine. But if you want to change the world, you live. With me. The first shots rang out. Sparks flew across the train's windows. People screamed, ducking. Samantha slammed the controls forward. The train jerked violently, wheels shrieking as it lurched down the dark tunnel. Bullets chased them into the black. Inside, Justin clung to the rail, his pulse thundering. Where the hell are we going? Samantha's lips curled into a wild grin. Downtown Vault, the biggest bank of time in the city. Justin stared at her, disbelief in his voice. You're insane. We'll never make it. She looked at him, her eyes blazing. We don't just steal time, Justin. We're gonna take all of it and burn their empire to the ground. The train roared faster, deeper into the shadows. And behind them, the glowing red eyes of pursuit drones lit up the tunnel. The train spat them out under the city. Cold air, concrete teeth. The vault rose like a cathedral of steel. Lights like a crown. Guards like wolves. Samantha moved like she owned the place. Will was already inside the maintenance grid. He'd been a ghost until now. Quiet hands. Quieter nerves. Will, you ready? She asked. Yes, he said. Doors in 60. Justin's wrist hummed. 112 years felt heavy. Too heavy. Every eye in the city wanted that glow. They slipped in through vents. Silent. Then chaos. Laser grids. Motion sensors. Will's fingers flew. Circuits blinked dead. 1,000 locks sighed open. They reached the inner hall. The vault door loomed. Bigger than any bank Justin had ever seen. A ring of glass tubes circled it, each holding a heartbeat of someone's life. Centuries drifted like jellyfish in light. Samantha whispered, "This is it. Everything we take here feeds 1,000 people." Justin looked at the tubes. He thought of the child in the station, the man on the bench, the stranger who died on a park seat. He thought of Henry Caro, of being hunted, of mercy. We'll set charges along the vault seam. 3 minutes, he said. We get in. We get out. Samantha touched Justin's wrist. When the vault opens, don't hesitate. Transfer what you can. We'll cover you. Cover me from what? Justin asked. From them, she said. From the law. From the city that believes time belongs to a few. The charges sang. Metal gave. A hiss. The vault door rolled aside. Inside, the core pulsed. A console stood in the center. A cannon of glass and gears pointed at the ceiling. On the console, a single prompt glowed. Distribute, reset, erase. Will looked at it and his hand trembled. We can redistribute it. We can give everyone 50 years. 100. End hunger. End debt. Samantha's eyes were hard. We don't stop there. We burn their ledgers. We take their servers. We show the world the clock is a lie. Justin stepped forward. His fingers brushed the edge of the console. The green on his wrist felt like a furnace. Do it, Will urged. Now. Justin's thumb hovered. He could feel the centuries waiting to pour like water. He thought about running, about hiding, about the faces in the tunnel. Outside, alarms began to scream. Reinforcements. A dozen drones tore through the sky. The time police were close. Too close. Move, Samantha hissed. Justin slammed his palm down on distribute. Light exploded. For a second, the world felt like it might right itself. Tubes dimmed. Clocks across the city shuddered. A warm ripple ran through the vault. Then the console flashed red. Unauthorized override. Will shouted. It's a trap. Through the cracks of the vault, Justin saw the true mechanism. The city's master regulator. A black core meant to siphon every transfer and route it back to the elite. Henry Caro had built failsafes. So had the ministry. You fools! Someone boomed over the intercom. A voice Justin knew but now hated. Henry wanted you to try. He wanted a spark. He wanted one man to carry the blame. Samantha's face went still. Henry, she started. He gave you those years to light the fuse. The voice laughed. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Justin. Will cursed. He slammed at the console. Alarms multiplied. From the vents the time police poured in. Guns raised. Their rifles glinted with draining coils. An officer stepped forward, level with the console. He pressed a palm to a sensor. Justin felt it like ice at the base of his skull. A pulse. A lock. Shutdown protocol engaged, the officer said. Every unauthorized transfer will reroute to the regulator, and the donor's clock will be purged. Justin's wrist flared. 112 years answered the call. He felt centuries pouring out of him. Not into the people. Back into a black hole that fed the city's throne. No, Samantha shouted. She dove across the console, hands scrabbling for cables. Bullets tore glass. Sparks rained down. Justin lunged too, grabbing at the stream of time bleeding from his arm. He tried to redirect it, to push it into the tubes, to force it into hands that needed it. His years slipped like sand through fingers. Will screamed, "Stop them! Break the regulator!" A time police officer aimed directly at Justin. "You're under arrest," he said. "Give it up." Justin's world narrowed. The numbers on his wrist ticked faster. 100 becomes 90. 90 becomes 50. The glow guttered like a candle in wind. Samantha locked eyes with him. Blood on her cheek. Fire in her voice. "Don't let it go to them, Justin. Not like this." He reached deeper. Memory, hope, anger. He shoved everything into the transfer. He forced the last of his years into the nearest tube. The console screamed. The regulator shuddered. And then the building convulsed. But before the outcome could be known, before the tubes could fill, before the city could breathe, a shadow fell across the vault. Something old. Something bigger than the ministry. A hand, mechanical and patient, closed over the console. The grip crushed the lights. The last echo on Justin's wrist ticked into silence. And the world went black.